All right. Cool. We're live. How are you? Doing good?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Doing good.
All right. Well, Susan, actually, this morning, and this just fell, the water gods just teed it up for me. That and a company called Stay in Touch in our space. Stay in Touch had an ad. And part of that ad was Booking.com Sustainable Travel Report from 2021 cited 76% of travelers want to reduce water usage by reusing towels and opting out of daily cleaning. And I thought, that's awesome. Who wouldn't want to do that? But what is a hotel's leading water waste offender?
It's toilets.
It's toilet.
And that's interesting that you say that because saving water, just like saving electricity, is becoming really a priority for Americans all over the place in their homes, when they travel, the brands that they support. They want to support a company that is, being a good steward of our natural resources, and water is certainly key. The problem is you can have all kinds of water saving processes, but
Oh,
but you can mitigate that and sabotage that just by other leaks, such as leaking toilets.
yeah. Well, that led me to do a little Google search, and then I found a 2023 report that like 76% of the respondents overall wanted more sustainability measures baked into their travel. So you're right. The numbers prove it.
And actually, hotels can really help boost their I guess brand desirability by showcasing, because a lot of them are trying to save water
Mm-hmm.
in various ways, and I think they can help align with their customer value system by
Yep.
really showcasing that.
Absolutely. So what can you tell us about the cost of water in and water out of hotels? The cost.
Well, for one thing, it's going up dramatically every year. I think in the last 10 years, the cost of water has gone up over 50%. Near where you live, it's actually gone up 150% in the last 10 years. So it's now the national average for water and sewer combined is about $14.50 per thousand gallons. Where I live, it's almost $40 per thousand gallons. So it's getting quite expensive. And like you say, a hotel isn't just paying for water. They're paying when water comes into their building, and they're paying when water goes out of their hotel through the sewer costs. And for a hotel, a lot of water usage isn't controllable because it's tied to occupancy. But water waste is absolutely controllable. And if you can control it, you can significantly boost your bottom line and meet the sustainability objectives of your customers and
Right.
guests.
So why are toilets the number one culprit of water waste?
Well, for one thing, it's very hard to find the offending toilets. There's no water on the floor, so it's not like a light bulb. When a light bulb goes out, it's obvious. When a toilet is leaking, it's not. The water goes from the tank into the bowl and down the drain, so it's very hard to detect. Problems can also be intermittent. And housekeeping doesn't have time to check. They're trying to turn rooms as quickly as possible, and a lot of aspects of water waste are almost impossible to detect because they happen continuously. It happens in small pieces. For instance, a 200-gallon a day flapper leak is only leaking about a tenth of a gallon per minute. So in a clean toilet, that's barely a ripple in the water. It's very, very hard to detect. And then you have things like flush volume efficiency, where toilets are low flow toilets, but they're not calibrated properly. So they, instead of flushing it 1.6 or 1.8 gallons, they're flushing it 2 or 3 gallons or more per flush. So you're wasting water every time someone flushes the toilet. And that's just a couple of examples of how hotels can be wasting water through their toilets.
And your data has shown you over the past few years that uh, how do you say, miscalibrated toilets. It's huge. Like none of them are calibrated right.
Yes. We have found through our data that anywhere between 50 and 70% of the toilets are not calibrated properly. So you can literally adjust the fill valve, and we'll be talking about our solution. Our solution actually tells the engineering team how much to adjust the fill valve to bring the toilet back into compliance, and then can start saving water with every flush day one. So it's a big issue. It's a very pervasive issue. The other issue that a lot of management companies don't realize is the impact of a running toilet. And this is a particular problem for hotels, because a running toilet can waste 4.5 to 5.5 gallons per minute. That's about 7,000 gallons a day. And if you think about it, and we've seen this happen often, where you have housekeeping go in to turn a room, the last thing they do before they leave is they flush the toilet and walk out the door. If the chain hangs up and that toilet room isn't rented for several days, that toilet's going to run at 7,000 gallons a day until someone walks in the room, because there's no way of knowing otherwise that that the toilet's running. And we've seen it where hotels may not rent the room for 3 or 4 days, and had they not had our device in their toilet, they would have wasted 28,000 gallons of water and added another almost $500 to their water bill just for that one occurrence. So running toilets are also a huge issue. Yeah,
that's crazy. So hotels typically go about managing leaks. I mean, it's just the maintenance guys. They're either called in because a guest or a housekeeper noticed it. I mean, that's it, right? That's the only way they're really doing it.
Well, frequently they try to stay ahead of it with proactive maintenance. So once a year, the engineers may go around and change out all the flappers. That's not really an efficient answer, because you could be fixing problems that aren't there. You could be, paying for flappers you don't need to replace them. But also there are other causes of water waste that won't be solved with changing out a flapper, such as a running toilet or a faulty fill valve, or they're reactive, and they react to a complaint from a guest, which is the last thing a hotel wants, is to have a guest with a less than stellar guest experience. If they're complaining about something, they're not entirely happy. So those are the two ways of dealing with this problem that they have right now, which is, why we thought this was an important problem to solve.
Right. So you mentioned, you've solved it. You've solved this problem. So you did, and you did it with your product's called the Leak Alerter Wireless Pro. Tell us about how it is solving this problem.
Well, Leak Alerter to the rescue. It's a wireless system. It's a 24/7 monitoring system that looks for all the different problems in toilets: faulty fill valves, flappers. Sometimes they both malfunction at the same time. Running toilets, potential overflows, inefficient flush volumes. The list is long. And it's a device that goes inside the toilet tank, and it connects to our proprietary gateway, and it'll alert, and it quantifies all the different issues that are going on with the toilet. So it'll send a text message for urgent issues like running toilets or potential overflows that need to be addressed immediately. We also send work orders once a week that outline all the other issues going on with the various toilets and what needs to be done to make the repair. And then we have a dashboard that shows real time what's happening with every drop of water that goes through every toilet in a property. So it gives the management team and engineering a very cost efficient way of managing and eliminating, decreasing their water waste.
Yeah. So what kind of feedback have you gotten from your clients?
Well, they're giving us repeat orders, so that's a lot.
There you go.
We have good testimonials.
Drop your mic.
They're referring us to others, so that's a good sign. But they're saving water. That's the bottom line. Is they're saving water, and they're also finding it's helping to make their engineering personnel more efficient. So it's actually helping them reduce their labor costs because there isn't the guesswork when they go to make a repair. Their engineering team will bring the right component. They can categorize and prioritize their repairs so they can do everything at a certain location, or they can do everything. They can make repairs based on severity. It just helps them really plan out their maintenance workflow, and it's helping them make them efficient. The other thing we're finding is, in addition to saving money and saving water, a lot of our hotel customers have strong sustainability ESG initiatives. And because our system can quantify water waste and therefore quantify water savings, they can help convert that into not only water saved, but greenhouse gas emission reduction and other aspects of their sustainability initiatives. And it helps them meet that goal as well.
Yeah, and there's rebates out there too, right?
There are. We're finding more and more water agencies are offering rebates for toilet leak detection, and we're in touch with a lot of them. So that also, is really, it helps make it. It helps them get to a positive ROI in a very short period of time. We're finding that the system basically pays for itself within 8 to 14 months without a rebate, and depending on the severity of the problems and the water and sewer costs in the area. And you can add a rebate. We've seen rebates as high as 25%. Then you have almost, a very short time before you've paid for the system through your water and sewer savings, and then the rest of it just boosts the bottom line.
Right. Blaine had asked a question a few minutes ago about the data. I guess the data that I mentioned. Blaine, I'll circle back with you, tell you where I found it. So I'll connect you with that. The dashboard. Tell us about the dashboard. Your clients can log in to a dashboard, and what do they see?
Well, they see there's three sort of components. There's the landing page, which gives you the raw real-time data. It shows intended, which is flush volume, and it shows unintended, which is everything else. And it also breaks it down by priority event, which is you're running in potentially overflowing toilets, and then all the other leak issues. And then it'll show you where the problem is, when did it start, what's the total water waste, what's the problem, what needs to be repaired, and then the total gallons that per day that it's wasting. So it enables, again, for maintenance or for engineering personnel to be in management to be very efficient. Then we also have the flush volume efficiency tool. We have, so they can look at all the toilets and see which toilets are flushing above their optimum rate, and how much that's costing them, how much they're wasting there, and how much does the fill valve need to be adjusted in order to bring the toilet back into flushing efficiency compliance. And then we also have a work order tool that they can access anytime, and then we send out the work orders automatically every Tuesday. And then we also have management and budgetary tools, things like if they want to look at a month-to-month comparison, or they want to look at a certain time range. It just has water usage that is very helpful for management when they're looking at how to manage their toilet and their water through toilets.
Cool.
So everything they need to know about every drop of water that goes through a toilet is on our dashboard, and it's very easy to navigate. There's no fluff. Everything is just very easy to navigate. We've had a lot of compliments about our dashboards.
What's an install look like?
Of that. And we developed it all here in-house.
Yeah. What's an install look like? I mean, just dropping this thing into a toilet tank, right? Yep.
Installs in minutes. We've designed this to be incredibly labor efficient. So we set everything up here before the install. So there's no one has to sit there with a laptop and try and get things to connect or anything like that. We have our own proprietary gateway, which takes 2 screws, just, screw it into a wall, plug it into a wall socket, and it has a battery backup. And then the device itself, there's one in each toilet. You literally just lift up the lid, hang it on the back of the toilet. It touches water, automatically wakes up and handshakes to our gateway. That takes about a minute. Put the lid back on, flush the toilet, you're done. It goes to work. And it has smart sensors that can diagnose everything through a very sophisticated rise and fall of water height over time. So it's very easy to install.
Yeah.
It's got a 5-year battery, 5-year warranty. So it's
Made in America.
and it's made in America, right here in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. So
Mary asks, so could I ask my utility to make the leak alerter available to residents with the rebate offered on their site?
we actually have a homeowner version. It's the Leak Alerter 6000. And I would love for you to approach your utility about having a toilet leak detection rebate. But this device is not wireless. But the way we thought, if with a homeowner, they're usually typically paying their water bill. So when you flush the toilet, it knows someone's in the bathroom, and it will tell you whether your toilet's been leaking and what the problem is. It has a red light, green light alert system, and it sells on Amazon and on our website, and we have lots of 5-star reviews. So, and it's the same technology that we use in the Leak Alerter Pro as well.
Yeah, just go to Amazon. Well, as we wrap up, if anyone's got any more questions, be sure and hit us up. We'll hang here for a few more minutes. But as we wrap up, Susan, anything else we didn't hit on that we should have?
Just that it's a great device, and we actually can help figure out forecast what those savings might be. If anyone wants to reach out to us, we can check to see if their utility has a rebate program. We can run their data through our calculator and give them a forecast. So we're here to be very, very helpful and help them boost their bottom line and save water.
Yep. And you've been around for a few years, and you've got hotel clients and multi-property clients. Everything's right there in Pennsylvania, right?
That's right. We ship from Pennsylvania. We work with multifamily housing. We work with hotels, student housing, senior housing, and then we have homeowner clients and utilities. We work with utilities as well. So we just want to be helpful.
Perfect. How about a trial offer? Ed says. Well, yeah. Ed, hit them up on their website.
That's right. Reach out to me.
Have a conversation with Susan. It depends on where Ed's at. Ed may be in Australia. Where you at? Where you at, Ed?
Love to talk to you, Ed.
Yeah.
Reach out to me.
Blaine asks, what does pricing look like for single unit? Would that be the 6,000, I guess?
The 6,000 is sells for $36.25 on Amazon or on our website. The cost structure for the Leak Alerter Wireless Pro is the device the node that goes inside the toilet is $65, and then the gateway. And we typically need one gateway per building. It depends on sometimes we can do one gateway for multiple buildings, but. And that's $650, and then there is a monthly subscription. But
you configure that for folks. I mean, if you've got 500-room hotel, you guys can configure what exactly is needed. Yeah.
Usually, what we do is people will call us, we'll discuss their property, they give us the address, and we can, just by looking at Google Earth, we can usually tell about where we can put, whether we need one gateway or two. They'll give us a site map. And we'll work through where the gateway should go for maximum coverage and go from there. But we're finding it's usually, depending, if it's a 14-story building, you're going to probably need more than one gateway. But, for most buildings, it's just one.
Yeah.
But we do all that in the quote process. So they know exactly what their costs are going to be.
Website, where can they find you?
LegalAlertPro.com. So www.legalalertpro.com.
Yep. And they could probably hit you up, you personally on LinkedIn here, right?
That's right. You can go to my LinkedIn page,
which she's very active.
And reach out to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for spending time with me. This is cool. This is like, I hadn't seen anything like this. And so it's good. I always like to bring new stuff to hoteliers, save them money or make them money. And so I think this is a winner.
That's right. It's both. That's right. So you know me, I'm a water nerd. I'll talk water and toilet leak detection all day long.
Yeah. Before we go, Mary's got a question. What is the typical return on the total cost of ownership? What would that look like, generally speaking?
Depending on water cost and the severity of the problems, we've had hotels cover the cost of the system within 6.5 months. And then the longest we've gone is about 16 months. So, and then after that, all the savings drop to the bottom line. Some of it also depends on how quickly they address the problems. So, but we've been finding that about 20% of the toilets have flapper or fill valve leaks when we first go in. About 10, sometimes up to 10% are having running toilets, and then 50 to 70% have flush volume efficiency water waste. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Yep. The flappers are leaking anywhere from 50 to 300 gallons a day. So and the same with the fill valve. Sometimes they both leak. So there's a lot of water being wasted.
Where does, maybe everybody knows this and I just don't know, but where do we go to find what our water costs are?
It's on your water bill, or it's on the agency website. They have to reveal.
State? Oh, well, is it county or city or state or all the above?
Well, actually, there's 155 water utilities owned by 155,000 water utilities owned by 51,000 water agencies. So it's a little complicated. There's not a standard. And then you have publicly traded water utilities like American Water and Aqua. And then you have little municipal water utilities that are owned by townships. And so it's the gamut. So just, look up the website of the person who provides your water, the company that provides your water, and their rate structure will be on there.
And it might surprise some folks because you've talked about Pennsylvania water is more expensive than Texas, and then even in like California in the desert, there may be an aquifer underneath the ground where the water is not as expensive as you might think because it's a desert. So it's all over the place, right?
It can be. We find that there are a lot of municipalities who own their own water systems, and they will subsidize the water rate through property taxes. And so sometimes the municipal, if your system's owned by a municipality, sometimes it's cheaper than if it's owned by an investor-owned utility where, they've got a certain shareholder return on investment, and they're also, are making a lot of infrastructure repairs that are costly. One of the problems in the water industry is aging infrastructure and, a lot of, leaks in the distribution system. And so that's part of the reason our water costs will continue to go up. They go for rate increases to be able to cover their infrastructure repair costs. And there's a lot coming on the horizon, which is why it's so imperative to make sure that you're not wasting water. You're not using the water, right? It's not making a more efficient flush.
Yeah.
But you're paying for it. And it silently sabotages net operating income in a major way.
Yep. Yeah. And hotels, we could save every money.
And it's
all the money that we can save, we should save.
It's harder for hotels, I think, to track where their toilet leaks are because they have changes in occupancy. If you're an apartment dwelling, your occupancy and flushes are a little more predictable because the people live there for a year or two or 5. So you've got more predictable occupancy. But it's with hotels, it changes week to week and day to day, and they have a good
Seasonal.
idea of what their seasonal occupancy is going to be. But if you have as toilet leaks start, and they start small and then they grow till they become major issues, so they're hard to detect.
Yeah.
And so with the Leak Alerter Pro, we can let someone know what their problems are before they become a significant drain on profit.
Yeah, that's the amazing part. It's all the detail that you get with it. Well, again, Susan, thank you so much for spending time with us, and we'll just sign off here. All right.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone for joining in.
Yeah. Okay.